Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome, we're glad to have you. So I was thinking, as a new player, a new bro, you're going to be seeing all this talk about how much money's being made in the Crimson Harvest combat sites. And you're probably even seeing how much ISK people are making from the data sites. But you may not have a good understanding of how to get into those data sites, where to find them, how to find them, what you need to start making that ISK. So that's what we're going to address today. Even if you're not a new bro, you're still going to kind of get an idea of how much ISK you're going to be able to make from these data sites. So if that's something you're looking to find out, stick around. So let's go ahead and I'll tell you how you can cash in as well. As a new bro in 2023 with these Crimson Harvest data sites. So the thing about the data sites is that it's not so much about what fit you have, or finding a fit online even, or having some expensive fit to be able to cash in. All you've got to do is just go to your fitting window, which you're going to find right here. And once you have that open, click the browser, then go to Hauls and Fits. You want to scroll down to Frigate and click on that. Now within each empire you're going to find an explorer ship. So with the Mar you have the Magnet or the Magnate, and you're going to see two different fits here for this ship. You're looking at about 1.6 million ISK to get in here. The big thing that you want to make sure you do though is pick one of these ships, because they're going to be set up to have bonuses for their scanner strength as well as their data analyzer strength. So they're going to help you find these sites easier, and they're going to help you actually hack the data sites better than say if you jumped in here with just a random ship and fit these modules to it, which you can do, but it's not going to be as easy that way. Caldaris, you have the Huron, Galente, you have the Imicus and Minmatars, or Minmators, you have the Probe. All of these ships are going to work just fine for these sites. The big thing that you want to work on is upgrading your skills that's required for these ships and for hacking itself. Now with the Crimson Harvest, they're giving away a lot of skill points. If you're looking to cash in on the data sites, I would suggest if your skills, if your scanning skills are lacking, apply some of those skill points that direction. So here you're going to find your hacking. Mine are not that great. This is not something that I do a lot. But just kind of read through these. Like this is 5% reduction in scan probe scan time per level. So they're going to scan, you're going to scan faster looking for the sites. Pinpointing, that reduces your scan deviation by 5% per level. And then of course hacking, you're going to get an extra 10 virus coherence per level on that one. So that would be a good one to apply some skill points on. So you're going to want to at least have some basic hacking, acquisition, and pinpointing skills to do this. Mine are, some of them are basic, some are just a little bit above basic, but they're definitely nothing spectacular. So that being discussed, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the ship that I'm going to use, that I've been using for these sites. I'm going with the Stratios, and that's simply because I'm in the hopes of, while I'm running these in low sec, that I will come across somebody else who's been running them, perhaps in one of the ships we just discussed, and I can snatch them up, put the warp scram on them. I'm combat ready. I'm dealing 438 DPS. I can dispatch them quickly, take the loot, because right now we're getting 90% drop rates on your PvP wrecks. So snatch their loot up and then go ahead and continue the site myself. So that's my hopes. And if that doesn't happen, that's fine. But it's still, you know, it's good to hope. It's good to have plans, right? Okay. So for this particular fit, the way I've got it set up is I have 3 true Sansha focused medium beam lasers. I've got those loaded up with Imperial Navy multi-frequencies. I've got my Covert Ops cloaking device, and I have a Sister's core probe launcher in the highs. In the lows, I've got a Denny enduring omnidirectional tracking link, which is not really necessary for this application. Typically what I'm doing with this ship is I'm scanning down DED sites or dead sites and running combat sites and hacking, you know, data or relic sites if I find them. But for this particular application, I went ahead and I took off a couple other fittings, slapped a couple warp scrams on, and went on. So we have 2 J5B enduring warp scramblers. We have a 50 meganewton Microwarpdrive. We have a data analyzer 1, because like I said, my data analyzing skills still pretty bad. In the lows, I've got 4 drone damage Amplifier 2s and a Centum C-type medium armor repairer. And in those rigs, we've got a medium auxiliary nano pump, medium explosive armor reinforcer 2, and a medium capacitor control circuit. Which, because I don't have the battery fit for it right now, our capacitor is pretty slim. But in the circumstances that we get into a battle, like I said, it's mostly going to be more like a gank. So it'll be quick, done and over. Now I've also got some drones, got some Acolytes, we've got some Infiltrators. Those are pretty much the only drones that I have loaded up that we would use for this particular application that we're working on now. So, that being said, let me just say that I have ran either 4 or 5 of these sites, mostly low sec. I did 1 in high sec, and with, you know, my ammo and my tractor unit, my probe scanners, right now I'm sitting at 209 mil, and the majority of that is, I would say at least 150 of it is loot that I've got out of those data sites. 13 mil of it is just in skins. You know, we've got a cerebral accelerator here. I've got a 60 million ISK agency DB9 dose 4. Got the DB3 dose 1. So we've got some good loot. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump out here and we'll talk a little bit about how we're getting this loot. Okay, so I'm now in the system that I'm going to start scanning down. There's a couple things you're going to want to do. The first thing you're going to want to do is warp to a safe location. Now this isn't going to be hard in low sec or in high sec, which is absolutely, if you're a new bro, where I would suggest you stay. Because there are people out here like myself who are going to take advantage of the fact that you're out here in low sec. It's just the way the game's played. So just know, if you come to low sec looking for these data sites and you get popped, that's just the name of the game. It's nothing personal. So try not to take it personally. Don't get mad. You can stay in high sec and run these sites. So go somewhere safe. We've done dropped our probes before I warped. You could drop them now. I tend to do it before I warp because I'm going to cloak, and once you're cloaked you can't drop probes. So you're going to want to pull up your map. So you go down here to this little radar looking button, click on that, and here's your solar system map. Now when you pull this up, by default it's going to be a full screen map. You can go up to the top, there'll be a button up here, and you're going to see options. What I do is I put it on floating, and then I condense it down as small as I can, and now I have it over here to the side. And you're going to need to do the same thing with the probe scanner. The probe scanner should be in the system map. You may want to pop the probe scanner out first, and then I drag it down into my chat box, so it's its own tab, like that. So mine's down here. So from there, you're going to see a list. What you're looking for is the cosmic signatures. They're going to be red, 0%. You're not going to be able to warp to those. Now each one of those, if you double click it, it has a corresponding spot on the map. So these are your probes. Just going to go ahead. First you're going to click the launch pinpoint formation. That'll be down at the bottom. Okay. So this launch pinpoint formation, that's the first thing you're going to need. You double click, it'll flip the map. You can see you have to align this both directions because space is three-dimensional. Okay. So once you have it aligned, you want to make sure that your blue bubbles encompass the big red bubble when you have a big red bubble like this. Typically it's an 8. We move this up to 8 AU and then click Analyze. Now, the way I do this may very well not be the correct way to do it. If you're an old vet and you see something I'm doing wrong, please make sure to inform me down below in the comments. But this is what I have found to work for myself. So now if we click this again, now you can see you've got two spots here. So you just want to kind of line up your probes in between them. That. And you're going to want to do the same thing again. You want to make sure that your blue circles encompass everything for this particular set of circles here. Line them up again, hit Analyze. Okay, now we're back to just one. Click it to put it in the middle. Pick your little probe bubble right on it. Now I'm going to drop down 2 sizes and zoom in with your mouse wheel. Click Analyze. Okay, so we can see that this one is in fact a combat site. So we're going to move on to this other one, because if we're not looking for combat sites, there is no reason to continue scanning that one. Now I'm going to go, if I come across one that I haven't scanned and it doesn't have the big red bubble, I automatically go to a 2 AU. Now depending on your skills, that may be different for you. If you have issues with doing that, you know, go with a 4. Click Analyze. Move it again, double click to flip the map, line it back up. I'm dropping by 2. You may find that you need to drop it just 1 at a time, depending on your skills. And we do have a data site here. Yep, drop it down. Reanalyze. And there we go. This is a Tetramon network node, which is exactly what I'm looking for. We're not going to scan anything else down in this system because we just have combat sites left. So we're going to go right here and click Recover Active Probes, which is going to pull our probes that we had out back into our ship. At this point, I just minimize this window, and we're going to warp in. Now in my case, I am in low sec, but that's not necessarily an issue because this space in which I feel relatively safe, and I can see that I'm the only person in this system. Alright, so we're going to start with this node that is the closest to us. I'm just going to go ahead and uncloak because I know I'm safe right now. I'm going to approach, burn off the Microwarpdrive for a couple cycles, maybe just 1. And once you're within targeting range, you can go ahead and target this. Now I do find these Crimson Harvest nodes to be rather difficult to hack. Now that could just be me, I'm not sure. Once you're within range, which is typically 5,000 meters of your targeted node, you can go ahead and click Analyze. Now your starting point's always in orange. Now what I try to do is get as quickly as I can to safe nodes, which are these, you know, this one here. It's surrounded by 4, it's solidly surrounded. So we're gonna go this way. Now, this is a safe node to click on. There should not be viruses or firewalls or whatever you call them. There shouldn't be anything here. If there is something here, that's one of the rules of hacking. So if I click here and there's a virus, then I know that in one of these nodes surrounding this one is the exit that we're looking for. But there was not. Now that's only true in these safe nodes that are surrounded completely. This one. Now this one it could be. All right. Now we will use this, we probably don't need to, but we'll use this utility subsystem. The wrenches I had got, they give you more health back to your coherence. This is your virus string. All right, so we have successfully hacked this one. Let's open the container. We got 1.6 million ISK loot, which is probably not the best paying one. Right. So let's navigate to the next one. We're going to go ahead and untarget the one we've already done. Target our next one. Approach. You can see as you're going up here, as soon as it says claim, you need to go ahead and claim that, so it'll start counting towards the next 3. This is tracking your points. You can find this right here under events. So that's what's getting you the points as far as your event points to unlock all of these. So pretty cool. So I'm already over halfway there. Mostly that's from running the combat sites. Okay, so we are plenty close enough. We're gonna go ahead and hit the button. Oh, very nice. So this is a utility subsystem. It's the kernel rot. Kernel rot halves the coherence of a defensive subsystem or system core. Left click to use, and left click on the intended target. Be using that shortly. Cut it out. Yes. So there it is. Watch, it'll cut it in half. We only have to deal with 30 of them. Here's the wrench I was talking about. This is self-repair. It increases the virus coherence when used by 10 per turn for 3 turns. So left click to use it. And then you click. I used to think you would use that, click on that, and then click the subsystems or whatever, but you do not. Just want to click empty nodes with it. We're not in a position to need it yet, but we're about to be. Now we will click it. Here's the exit. We now have 60. We should be good to finish that out. And let's pop this one up. 1.2 mil in this one. And again, let's move on to the next network node. I'm gonna go ahead, untarget. Now there's a keyboard shortcut to untarget things. You can press Shift Control, hold those, and then click. And to target, you can hold Control and click. You can see I just held Control and clicked. Now I'm going to hold Shift Control and click it again, and it untargets. Very handy in combat situations as well, especially if you've got your all your available targets and you need to target something else. You can quickly untarget something and retarget. Okay. Click our data analyzer. Hopefully this one's going to be the big payout. It looks pretty tough. Again, we're moving towards these safe nodes. See what's over here. Crap. That's what's over there. Okay. Now the wonderful thing about these, because I am, as I've said, I am not the best at doing these sites. However, alright, we're gonna try it. Very nice. Issue with that is you don't have enough health. Then we're going to click on that wrench. We're going to hope we don't click something like that, which we are. Click that too. We're going to try to get it successful. 5.8 mil. Now what I was saying is, if you don't get these nodes, you don't get them hacked the first time, typically what a data site node or a relic site node will do is you will get 2 chances and then it explodes and you lose all the loot. In these event ones, they do not explode, so you can continue to attempt them over and over and eventually you'll get it. So they do make very good practice, and honestly, exploration and data site hacking is typically quite a lucrative income. You can usually do pretty good. Now there's going to be times where, you know, you hack and hack and hack and you get nothing. But then there's going to be times when you go out and, you know, you play for maybe an hour and you come back with over 100 mil. It's just all going to depend on where you're going, where you're at, and it's just kind of a roll of the dice, really. Now, one good thing that I like to do is carry a cargo scanner, which will help you to not hack empty sites. You can scan, you know, target the node and scan it with the cargo scanner, and you'll know what the loot is inside before you hack it. Now, this can be very time-saving, but it can also be frustrating not only to yourself, but to other players. Frustrating to you because you know there's great loot inside of a node, and it blows up because you weren't able to hack it, and you know what you lost. And it can be irritating to other players because you're obviously not going to hack the empty containers, which means the site does not despawn. They spend all the time scanning it down, and they go to it, and there's nothing there, except for like empty containers or containers with, you know, next to no loot. So, that being said, and these were not some of the bigger paying ones. This is probably the smallest paying site that I've ran so far. But that's how it's done. That's all there is to it. You can start cashing in. And, you know, like I said, that one I ran, I got that that one booster. It was worth 60 mil. Right here. So that was in the first one I ran. Then got these 3 skins. You know, some of them are paying really good. It's just, like I said, it's going to be just like any other data sites. It's going to be hit or miss, and they're really seeing the same thing with the combat sites. While they do pay more, they're very skill intensive, and it does require a good bit of ISK to put into a ship. So if you are literally new, you're looking to get out here and make some ISK, this is a fantastic way to do it. And I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, please feel free to leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, sub, and, you know, click that little bell thing, and then you'll get notified when new videos come out. Typically it probably won't be data site hacking. It's more likely going to be abyss sites, which is a whole nother lucrative way for new bros to earn good ISK in a short amount of time. So guys, until the next video, fly safe.